Hey everyone, Friday afternoon, Lesley Dale with the TFP, and there's a lot of crime you're looking at right now on our website. That's why our reporter, Shelly Bradbury, spit it out. Sorry about that. Friday, we're all in a rush to get things done, but I know you've been on the phone working on two very disturbing subjects, drugs and a body dump.
So I guess we should start with the body. So last night about 8:30, this man's body was found in a parking lot at Eastridge High School. And as police were investigating, it turns out that his roommate left the body there, left his roommate there. So
Are they releasing names?
yeah. So there is a Nicholas Sloane. He is the roommate who is still alive. And then the man who died was 38-year-old, let me make sure I get his name right. Jacob Lampkin, I believe.
Okay, so Nicholas Sloane.
Jason Lampkin.
Okay,
Sorry.
Nicholas Sloane is the man who police say dropped his roommate Jason Lampkin's dead body at Eastridge High School last night.
And when they interviewed Sloane, he told police that he and his roommate had gone to, I think, Shallowford and Moore Road to buy drugs, or to buy pills is what he said. And then as they were on their way back to the apartment, he looked over and realized that Lampkin, his roommate, was not responding. He was unconscious.
So that's what Sloane says to police.
Yes.
Okay.
And then Sloane said he shook him, he yelled at him, his roommate didn't wake up. So he, at that point, pulled over into the Eastridge parking lot, Eastridge High School parking lot, pulled his roommate out of the van, and then just drove away and went home.
And dumped the body where? Police found the body where? Just on the parking lot?
I think
in a
it was
dumpster?
just in the parking lot, just
Wow.
like on the ground. And by the time the police got there, the Lampkin was dead.
Did Sloane call the police, or did someone who found the body call the police?
No, bystanders just saw the body. Police initially responded to like a well-being check, and then they found that they responded to reports of a man unconscious on the ground. And then when they got there, they discovered that he was dead, and then started investigating after that. So the victim's sister actually showed up on scene right after police did, because she said Sloane had called her and been like, "Hey, by the way, like this just happened. I left your
Brother's
brother
body
there in this parking lot." So he's been charged with abuse of a corpse, and he was booked, I think, on a $10,000 bond, and he's already been released. So
Okay. I'm assuming that at this point, this goes into autopsy territory to find out the cause of death and if any other charges would be pending,
police haven't
right?
ruled out other charges. I think at this point it's a little bit unclear when Lampkin actually died, whether he was dead when the roommate left him, which is what the charge is, abuse of a corpse, or whether he might have still been alive at that point, in which case the charges could be upgraded.
And then they'll obviously see what, if anything, was in his system.
Yeah, and police said today they couldn't say for sure whether the roommate Sloane looked like he was under the influence of alcohol or drugs when they interviewed him. So that's kind of still unclear.
Okay, well, it's pretty disturbing. And moving on to a story that we just put up on the website, what about Reed House drug bust?
Yeah, before we get to that,
Okay,
we
somebody
do
has a
have a question from Mitch Walker. He said that the police determined that the young man was dead on arrival when they got there.
By the time they got to the parking lot, he was dead. They didn't do any medical aid after they got there in the parking lot. What's not clear is whether he was dead when he was pulled out of the truck, or if he could have been saved at that point had the roommate gone and gotten medical help or taken him to a hospital.
Okay.
And then I wonder too, now that we're getting into that, sometimes in these cases, and this will be down the road, police look into how the people got drugs, if there were drugs in his system, and who they got them from, and sometimes charges can lead that way too, but we don't know that right now. So, yeah. Okay, well, so let's move on, unfortunately, to more drug talk. When did we post the story about the Reed House drug bust?
It was a little bit before lunch, probably about 30 minutes before
Okay.
lunch, something like that.
So that's
Maybe
our
not.
most viewed story right now, along with
Yes,
Okay.
yes. Both of these two are our top 2 stories for today.
So not a lot of information besides what was found, and people have been arrested, right? At the
Yeah, so basically, the Reed House is a hotel in downtown Chattanooga on Broad Street. And according to police, some staff members saw some suspicious activity there this morning and called police. And police got there. I think the call came in very early. It was like 5:30 in the morning. And police got there and identified the person who booked the room as somebody who had an open warrant. And then they made entry into the room and they found 6 ounces of crystal meth, 2 firearms, $26,000 in cash, and they also arrested 7 people. So 5 of the people they arrested were convicted felons, and then 4 were known meth traffickers who were wanted. So it turned into a pretty significant bust based off just like a hotel staff's tip.
And the Reed House, if you've ever been there, is, you know, an old, nice, historical hotel in downtown Chattanooga.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's kind of surprising.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Haven't heard a history of that going on.
Yeah, I mean, Chattanooga's always been kind of a hub for drug trafficking because we're at the center of everything, and also people coming up from Atlanta. So that's not surprising in of itself, but yeah, it's unusual for it to be at that location, particularly like downtown, a nice hotel downtown.
Yeah, yeah. So have they given you any more information about, you know, who these people are, where they're from, or anything like that?
No,
or not yet?
but since they were all arrested, that should come out like pretty shortly, probably within the day, I would imagine, because they'll be booked and processed, and then the charges will come through and we'll be able to tell kind of what they're all facing.
Yeah, and where they came from,
Yeah.
potentially who they're dealing with here.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to update that as soon as you get the information in from the cops.
Somebody will, yes.
Somebody will. Somebody here will. Somebody will update you. timesfreepress.com. So moving ahead, it's Friday, weekend, holidays are coming up.
Yeah.
As far as crime goes, and I know you can't predict, but what are the holiday weekends like, especially Thanksgiving, as far as crime goes?
Yeah. Last year we had a very violent Thanksgiving week. Actually, I think we had like 8 or 9 people shot in the 8 days around Thanksgiving, and like 2 or 3 murdered. I'd have to go back and check the toll to be sure.
So bizarre.
But you can check the toll at
timesfreepress.com/the toll, and that's just a database of all the homicides in Chattanooga.
Okay.
But yeah, police have said that they expect to see an uptick in violence this week. Actually, I think it starts today. Today's the 18th, and then should run through like the 26th. So it wouldn't be surprising to see an uptick in shootings. But obviously, since police are expecting it, they're also trying to stop it. So they're doing some extra like patrolling and activity to try to get ahead of that violence that we saw last year this week.
Yeah. What's the reasoning? Do they have any reasoning behind holiday violence or holiday crime? You know how they say when it's hot, there's more crime. When it's a holiday, there's more crime. When it's a long weekend, what is that? Do the police have any reasoning?
Well, to start off, I would say that the police have found for sure that our violence happens in like especially our gang violence happens in like clusters. So you'll have 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 very violent days, and then it will be calm for a couple weeks. And so they've found that. We've kind of always known that because gang violence is very retaliatory. It's back and forth. One person shoots you, and then you shoot back as revenge. But they've also recently found that those weeks are clustered around major events. So like Riverbend, back to school, Thanksgiving. And I think, and I might be just guessing a little bit here, but my sense from that is that it's just because people are interacting more. So you are out more, you see people you haven't seen in a while. Like when you're coming back to school after the summer, you're interacting with these people you may have only seen online before that, and it just kind of brings up violence.
Well, let's hope that the prediction is wrong, but
Yeah.
we'll be reporting on it, and we're going to have a lot more light and fun holiday things planned for you next week. We're going to be drinking holiday cocktails with WGOW's Brian Joyce. He's coming here. And Imbibe is doing something, the new place downtown. They're doing something.
By the Choo-Choo?
Yeah, it's a new wine and liquor store, really cool, local, going to be providing some of that intel for us and fun for you. And then we're going to be cooking, healthy cooking, with Kyle House from Kyle House Fitness. He's going to prepare some healthier options. If you guys are watching your waistband, Thanksgiving, probably most people are, and I think it's like 4,500 calories the average person consumes. So we're going to be doing some fun stuff. And then the restaurant 5 I'm looking into is donating a lot to Community Kitchen, and apparently they do this all the time, but they really amp it up for Thanksgiving. So we're going to try to bring you some fun, nice, heartwarming stuff after this crazy election and all the violence we've been hearing about. So should be a good week next week. Fingers crossed. Have a great weekend. Thanks for taking the time. And somebody here, you or one of our other quarter crime reporters, will update you on the drug bust, Reed House, downtown Chattanooga. Significant drug bust, 26,000 in cash, and then meth.
7 arrested.
7 arrested, horrible, and the body that was dumped at East Ridge High School, if we get more information coming in on that. All right. See you guys. Have a good weekend.